My name is Amelia, and I live in a small city called Charleston in South Carolina. I am 23 years old, and if you had met me just a year ago, you would have thought my life was perfectly ordinary. But the truth is, my world changed in the most unexpected way because of one kind stranger. And tonight, I want to tell you that story, a story I can never forget, a story that still keeps me awake some nights, replaying in my mind like a movie I cannot pause. It was late November, the kind of season where the air feels heavier, and even the wind carries loneliness. I remember walking home from my part-time job at the cafe that evening. My shoes were worn out, my scarf was too thin to fight the biting cold, and in my chest, a storm was rising. My family was falling apart, money was running out, and I was carrying burdens far too heavy for my age. Sometimes, when life feels like it's drowning you, you begin to wonder if anyone even sees you, if anyone even cares. That night, the street was almost empty. The rain had just started, soft at first, like whispers of sadness on the pavement. I pulled my jacket tighter, but my body still shivered. Suddenly, a car slowed down beside me. My heart froze. Was this danger, or worse, pity? But then a voice, calm and warm, called out from the window. "Miss, are you okay? Do you need a ride?" I looked at him. He was a stranger, no doubt about it. Dark coat, kind eyes, and the kind of presence that doesn't demand attention, but gently earns it. Every instinct told me to keep walking, but the rain was getting stronger, and my mind was tired of carrying both the storm outside and the one inside. Against all logic, I nodded quietly. He opened the passenger door, and I stepped in. The car was warm, smelling faintly of pine and leather. For a few moments, silence filled the space, broken only by the sound of raindrops. Then he asked my name, not in a rushed or nosy way, but in a voice that felt safe. "I'm Amelia," I whispered. He smiled slightly, introducing himself as Adrian. That name, it would stay with me forever. We drove slowly through the quiet streets, and for the first time in months, I felt like someone truly noticed me. He didn't ask the usual meaningless questions. Instead, he listened when I told him about my mother's illness, about working two jobs, about how my dreams felt like they were slipping away. And he didn't interrupt. He didn't judge. He just listened. Like my words mattered. Do you know how rare that is, to be truly heard? By the time we reached my apartment, my heart felt a little lighter. As I stepped out of the car, Adrian said something that struck me. "Amelia, the world is heavy, but you don't have to carry it all alone. Sometimes a stranger can hold a corner of it for you, even for a little while." I don't know why, but those words carved themselves deep inside me. The next morning, I found a small note slipped into my mailbox. It said, When you feel like giving up, remember you survived yesterday, and that means you are stronger than you think. No signature, but I knew it was Adrian. Days turned into weeks, and somehow fate, or maybe kindness, kept bringing Adrian and me across each other's paths. Sometimes he would stop by the cafe where I worked and order the same black coffee, leaving a generous tip. Other times I'd find a small book or flower at my doorstep. No explanation, just a silent reminder that someone out there still cared. He never crossed boundaries, never asked for anything in return. He was just there, like a quiet guardian angel in human form. But life, as it always does, tested me again. My mother's condition worsened, and hospital bills piled up like mountains I couldn't climb. One evening, I broke down completely, sitting on the floor of my tiny kitchen, sobbing into my hands. The world felt cruel, unfair, merciless. And then my phone buzzed. A simple text. Look outside. I dragged myself to the door, and there he was. Adrian, standing in the cold with 2 bags of groceries in his hands and a look in his eyes that said, "You are not alone." He didn't say much that night. He didn't need to. Sometimes the kindest words are not words at all. They are actions, quiet and powerful. Weeks later, on Christmas Eve, I found myself sitting across from him in the cafe. Snow was falling outside, lights twinkling in the windows, but inside me, a different light was glowing. I realized that his kindness had not only carried me through the darkest nights, but had also changed the way I saw the world. Adrian taught me something I will never forget, that sometimes one kind stranger can do more for your soul than 1,000 familiar faces. Now, months have passed since that winter. Adrian eventually moved away for work, and I don't know if our paths will ever cross again, but his presence remains with me. Every time I see someone struggling, every time I notice the quiet pain in someone's eyes, I remember how it felt to be seen, and I try to pass that kindness forward. Because maybe the world heals one kind stranger at a time. So, if you're listening to this right now, I want you to remember something. No matter how heavy your days feel, no matter how invisible you think you are, somewhere out there is a kindness waiting for you. And maybe, just maybe, one day you'll be someone's kind stranger too.